Auz billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I welcome all of you in this video lecture which is for class 12th subject economics, and the topic which is under discussion and which we will discuss today is movement along the supply curve. जी हाँ प्यारे बच्चों, आज हम पढ़ेंगे मूवमेंट अलोंग द सप्लाई कर्व के बारे में। सप्लाई कर्व क्या होता है ये हमने पढ़ लिया है। सप्लाई कर्व शोज द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन सप्लाई एंड प्राइस ऑफ कमोडिटी, दैट इज more is offered for sale at higher prices and less is supplied at lower prices. Now dear students, we will study about movement along supply curve. Why movement along the supply curve occurs? Dear students, it is because of change in quantity supplied. Now here question arises, why quantity supplied changes? Yes dear students, as you have studied that quantity supplied changes because of change in price. However dear students, there are also other factors which leads to change in quantity supplied for sale. Here we will consider these factors may remain constant. The other factors which leads to change in supply or like cost of production, natural factors, technical development, government policy, and change in cost of transport. Yes dear students, so change in price leads movement along the supply curve, that is movement along the same supply curve. However dear students, you must have to note here that movement along the supply curve may be movement along the supply curve may be upward or it may be downward movement. However, upward movement along the supply curve occurs if there is increase in price of the quantity, and this upward movement along the supply curve is known as expansion in supply. On the other hand, downward movement along the supply curve occurs due to fall in price, and this downward movement is known as contraction in supply. So dear students, we may say that when quantity offered for sale increases with rise in price, it is case of extension of supply. However, when the quantity offered for sale decreases because of fall in price, it is a case of contraction in supply. Now dear students, I have explained this movement along the supply curve with an example. Price per unit 20 and then 25. When price per unit is 20 rupees, 100 units are supplied. However, when price rises from 20 to 25, the quantity supplied also increases from 100 to 150. I have shown it through a graphical representation. For example, I have shown here that when price was OP, the quantity supplied was OK. Similarly, when price level changes, that is when price level rises from OP to OP dash, as you see here in this graph, when price level changes from OP to OP dash, the quantity supplied also changes from OQ to OQ dash. That is, when price level rises from OP to OP dash, the quantity offered for sale also increases from OQ to OQ dash. You may also get here that when price was OP, this was the quantity supplied, this which I have shown here with this quadrilateral here. When price was OP, this area shows that this was the supply at price OP. However, when price rises, the quantity supplied also increases. So you can understand here that initially when price were lower, the quantity supplied was this, and when price rises, the quantity supplied also increases. So you can understand here that this box is bigger than this box. This is the initial supply, then it is supply when price changes, that is when price rises. So you can also get it from here that this box is bigger than this box. So we can say that quantity supplied at OP1 price is greater than as compared to OP. Yes, dear students, but here question arises that the movement by this price change would be upward or downward. You can get it from this graphical representation that movement is along upward movement. The movement along the supply curve is upward. That it was first at this point, then it moves to upward at R1. So dear students, this is what is the effect of change in price on quantity supplied. Yes, dear students, however, in contrast to this, if the price now decreases from this OP to below this point, so the quantity supplied will also change, it will also decrease up to this point. So at this moment, the movement may be downwards along the supply curve. Yes, dear students, this was all about movement along the supply curve. Now in the next lecture, we will study shift in supply curve. Why shift in supply curve occurs? What are the factors behind the shift in supply curve? So dear students, with this we have completed the topic, that is why movement along the supply curve occurs, what is upward movement and what is downward movement, why upward movement occurs and why downward movement occurs. This was all about today's topic. Hope that you would have got the concept. Thank you. Have a nice day. Allah Hafiz Nasir.